Don't cruise in neutral. Whether you have a manual or an automatic transmission, you should always be in gear and not in neutral. If something goes wrong and the engine stops while you're in neutral, you won't have any power steering and braking performance will be compromised. If you have an automatic transmission, make sure that you don't floor it where you are fully stopped. Automatic transmissions are not as reliable as manual ones, so make sure to accelerate slowly when you're starting from standstill, and after the car started to move, let's say you have around 2000 rpm, then you can start flooring it. In manual transmissions, if you floor it and release the clutch fast, tires will start skidding and you'll basically just wear out the clutch, but the gearbox itself won't have any problem at all. Don't put the gear shifter in reverse if you're not fully stopped. In manual transmissions, for the reverse gear you don't have a gear selector, so if you're not fully stopped, when you put the gear shifter in reverse, it will make a specific spur noise. This won't happen in automatic transmissions, but it can also get damaged. So when you want to go in reverse, make sure that you're fully stopped. Use engine braking as much as you can. During engine braking, your fuel consumption would be 0.0 liters per 100 kilometers. If you cruise in neutral, fuel consumption would be around 2 to 5 liters per 100 kilometers depending on your speed. Engine will consume the fuel that it requires to run on idle. If you see a red light and you're 200 meters away, downshift into second or third gear and let the car slow down by using engine braking. Keep the proper distance. This is the main cause of most accidents. If you drive around town, keep at least 10 meters distance between you and the car in front of you. Also, if you drive outside the city and let's say you have 60 kilometers per hour, make sure that you have around 20 to 30 meters distance. If you're cruising on a highway, make sure that you have from 50 to 100 meters distance. This is available on dry asphalt. If you drive in severe weather conditions such as wet, icy or snowy conditions, you should be definitely increase the distance between you and the car in front of you. To better understand this, I will make a separate video in which I will be explaining the grip forces and the grip coefficients that occur between the car and the road. When you just start the engine, the coolant is cold, the engine oil is cold, and the gearbox oil is also cold. So you should drive gentle until the fluids reach the optimum operating temperature. This happens generally within 20 minutes for a diesel and around 10 minutes for a gasoline engine. While the engine is cold, don't drive aggressively. You should be shifting between 2000 and 3000 rpm for gasoline and between 1500 and 2500 rpm for diesel engines. If you drive aggressively when the engine is cold, you might add extra wear to it or you can even destroy it. Don't under-rev the engine. It doesn't really matter what type of engine you have, under-revving it causes lots of problems. At low RPM, let's say 1500 RPM, resonance and vibrations occur and they can damage the camshafts and the crankshaft. So make sure that you drive above 2000 RPM for diesel and above 2500 RPM for gasoline engines. This is especially available if you have a turbocharged engine. If you floor it at 1500 RPM, you will lug the turbocharger, and by this I mean that you will force the turbocharger to develop a high pressure at a low RPM and you can damage the turbocharger. Don't stop the engine immediately after a long aggressive drive. The engine and the gearbox were subjected to heavy loads, so you need to let them cool down by running at idle. This is especially available in turbocharged vehicles. To get a better grip, brake progressively and steer progressively. If you steer all of a sudden, the car can go sideways. In case you didn't know, you can achieve a better braking distance if you brake progressively and hard before ABS starts to kick in. If you let ABS kick in the whole braking process, braking distance will be slightly reduced. So if you want to get the best out of your car, brake progressively and steer progressively. Don't use summer tires during winter and don't use winter tires during summer. Summer tires will get tough and grip will be compromised during winter. and winter tires will get too soft during summer and grip will also be compromised. The difference between a brand new tire and a tire with, let's say, 30% tread is around 50%. So braking distance between a new tire and a worn out tire is almost 50% greater. So don't be a cheapskate, use the proper tires for your car and for the proper season. I will explain some more driving tips and I will tell you some more driving tips in the next videos. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.